And a man in China says he is taking the government to court because of all of the smog. Beijing is suffering through a week of dangerous air pollution levels. Even Chinese officials call the air unbearable. Seth Doane took this photo of Beijing from an airplane and then posted it on Twitter. Look at that. He shows us why everyone there is worrying about breathing.
Beijing's skyline disappears into smog as traffic cops and even toddlers don masks. Pollution here is primarily caused by coal burning for heat and the more than 5 million cars on the road. Students outfitted statues with masks to push classmates to think about pollution, while others are making smog a not-so-subtle partner in photos circulated online. Many of us have apps on our phones that tell us pollution levels. The EPA set up a scale of 0 to 500, with 500 being the worst. Today's pollution reading is above 500, beyond index. That means the average pollution levels are around 20 times higher than what the World Health Organization considers safe.
It doesn't just kind of roll in, you just sort of lose the skyline.
There's not much of a view from the 15th floor of American doctor Richard St. Cyr's apartment. At Beijing United, where he's a family physician, patients pepper him with questions.
Does an air purifier actually work? Does a mask actually do anything? Should you exercise outside on a bad day or not?
These are all the questions that you would find as a doctor people would come to you and ask.
Yeah, and it's things that I want to know.
He started a blog to dole out advice and reveal what data he could uncover.
Many times I've gone around my apartment like a crazy man with an air particle monitor, and I've borrowed many machines and I'm testing them in different rooms, and I'll publish the results on my blog.
Beijing has not raised its color-coded alert to red, the highest level. But for nearly a week, the city has encouraged schools to keep kids inside and residents to wear masks. State media has broadcast pictures of a steel factory being demolished because it's one of the heavy polluting industries here. And it's reporting that 147 industrial companies in Beijing have cut or suspended production to combat smog. While clothing was optional at Beijing's annual Naked Run, masks were worn. And when China's President Xi Jinping made a surprise visit to a Beijing neighborhood earlier this week, much of the chatter online was that he did not wear a mask. China's pollution problems are expected to be on the government's agenda at the National People's Congress, set to begin March 5th. After last year's meeting, China's premier said the pollution gave him a heavy heart. But the Chinese government's attempts to deal with pollution problems are difficult to detect on a day like this. For CBS This Morning, Seth Doane, Beijing.
I think this is one of the biggest stories of the next,
too, Nora.
Couple decades. Your son lives in China.
I was going to say, I was talking to Will the other day. He has on a mask. He has an air purifier. I'm trying to convince him to come back home. But he doesn't listen to me.
Because you're worried about the air quality.
I'm very worried about the smog. And when I look at that, I think it's very scary.
Yeah. And you wonder why a government that powerful with so much centralized power can't do something.
And it's not getting better. That's what's so scary about it. It is not getting better. We will keep following that story.